Dude, have you ever drank so much water that you nearly passed out? So we're here back over on some more Modern Warfare. At the moment, I'm actually working on my SPR mastery, if I actually sat down and played it, but yeah, so over here to weapon mastery or whatever. So that's the reason I have polyatomic on as well, by the way. I keep having people ask me, it's like people aren't even aware that this whole completionist thing after Orion exists. It's like people just don't even understand. It's crazy too, because the system is actually more streamlined than it's ever been. It's just such a new layout that like people, I don't know, people are just still having a hard time with it, I guess. Yes, after you are done with Orion, you can go and start doing these challenges. I don't really see the point in doing that because you can't actually get the weapon charm if you don't have Orion, because you can't finish the Orion challenge for that weapon. And it's not to unlock Orion, it's to unlock those two emblems, or realistically all 8 each of them, the 2 golds, the 2 platinums, the 2 polys, the 2 Orion. 4 calling cards, 4 emblems. The weapon charm, if you see someone running around with Orion with a weapon charm, it is the most subtle flex possible. Well, at least until we find out what the actual reward is for doing that for every single weapon. Unlocking the weapon charm for every single weapon in the game. Getting Orion doesn't signify that you're done with the weapon. Getting the weapon charm does. If they have the charm, they did everything that they possibly could on that weapon, which realistically on this game is actually not that much. Now, I do love the fact that it's like 1,000 kills, because it's actually like a good amount instead of it being like, you know, oh, 50 kills, 20 kills. It's a nice contrast in comparison to like what the usual challenges. You get used to how easy the challenges are over on this game, and it's not like kill challenges are hard either, but in terms of like number, 1,000 kills, that's pretty good. Now, I'm not grinding it super hard, and especially once I get to weapons that I really don't like. For example, I'm already trying to do the Joker right here. I'm not gonna do exclusively the Joker though, because I will literally quit the fucking game. Beginning of the game, there was a rumor going around that the Black Ops aim assist was the strongest one. Then JGod ended up doing a test on it and found that it was like 1 to 3% stronger generally. While it's not technically like a massive difference, like a lot of people would claim it to be, it is actually stronger. But there's actually a rumor that's been going around recently though, that's been saying that it actually ended up getting nerfed or adjusted in some way. And now everybody should go back to default. And again, this is all down to like preference and stuff. People are like trying to measure like magnetism and all this other like crazy shit. If it's just something that like muscle memory just works for you, then just do it. You know, some people that play on precision, some people try focusing, just play whatever, man. Some people just keep everything default. They don't touch any of that stuff. One thing that's really confusing though, when we go over to customization over here, you can see that I can find the emblems fine. For some reason under calling cards, like I can't find any of the mastery calling cards on here for like the weapon mastery camo thing. Scroll over to standard. I don't see it over here either. There's nothing. How do I equip the calling card? You can see that I have the emblem equipped, but the calling card, I don't know how to change it. So it's just like this skull thing, whatever that is. Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. Last night, I also ended up maxing out all the weapons that ended up getting the extra levels and stuff. One thing that's interesting, I didn't think that it would make a whole lot of difference for a lot of the weapons in the game, but I did think that it was a possibility that a certain attachment could come out that actually makes a weapon a little bit better that we just couldn't technically build before. For the longest time, the MCPR, pretty sure it's the first sniper rifle in the game that you get. Like actual sniper rifle, not the marksman rifles. That weapon ended up getting a new ADS stock. Now, I don't know how much better it is than the one that everybody was using before or whatever the previous builds were, but when I was using it last night while I was leveling it up to get to that point, I swear once I put that thing on, it felt a little bit faster than usual. So it's like an indirect buff to the weapon. Back on default aim assist after switching last night, and I feel a little bit more accurate, but again, one thing you really don't want to do is switch your aim assist and all these other like settings around, especially like this stuff will mess with your muscle memory. Muscle memory is incredibly important. It's getting reps just over and over and over and over. That's just how we work. If you keep moving all these settings around, adjusting your sensitivity over and over again, in like sweeping motions and doing all sorts of crazy shit, going from having your brain completely used to the fact that like you would have aim slowdown to switching to an aim assist that doesn't have any slowdown, but it sticks harder. That would mean that your centering would have to be different, which your mind wasn't compensating for before because it didn't need to. It forces your brain to think differently about it. That's why some people feel like whenever they get like new settings, they feel like it's the new move because they feel like they're performing better, but in reality, it's because they're just concentrating more on their shots. They're concentrating more on the mechanics of the game in front of them instead of just being on autopilot, which that's what muscle memory does. You really don't want to change your settings up a lot like that, unless like your settings are somehow detrimental to you at that point. Pick something, try to stick with it. Now, okay, if you think, you know, running the lowest FOV with maximum graphic 4K is like the best way to play, that's up to you. You got the game. Hey, you play the game how you want. But then again, I don't think you would be listening or looking for any videos talking about settings. So, FSS Merc stock. Before, we didn't have an ADS stock. I think people were running around with a rear grip instead. You could also obviously just take this bolt off as well and then put on the rear grip. I don't know which one mathematically would be like the fastest one. It also doesn't matter if we have a slightly faster ADS if the bolt is too slow. So indirect buff just by adding attachments to the game. And it might, since those attachments could be stretching across multiple weapons, maybe. It could also just be an indirect buff for a whole bunch of different weapons. That's like meta shifting type shit. One thing that's fun is like all the theory crafting that's going on right now because the information isn't so clear to everybody. And I think that is an upside to like not having as much transparency in the game. But at the same time, I still do think that transparency is always better. Even if the community does completely pick it apart and they're being ultra critical. I think Infinity Ward realized that the less open that they are about any of the changes that they're making, the less criticism that they can take, because it's all basically based in feeling. When you got people breaking down the science of why your entire like design is dog shit, half-an-hour-long videos, you got people making videos that have academic accolades that are scientific astronaut. I'm not surprised they're not as transparent. But people did want Infinity Ward back, so yeah, here they are. Now, I know that Raven is apparently supposed to be communicating for Warzone and shit. I swear, like, even Raven has been lackluster. I'm aware that Warzone has only been out a week or whatever, but unless they drop some patch notes today, like some sort of blog post or update or some shit, I don't know, some kind of update. Yeah, they did have that whole, like, bug fix thing, but I think because people haven't figured out the most solid meta and we don't have, like, these charts and websites breaking down about, like, what is and isn't the strongest thing in the game, we're kind of at, like, the mercy of Infinity Ward. This side of the map, you just can't fire off javelin. I need to find really, really good javelin spots on this map because I can't kill anybody for shit with the javelin on this, especially on this side of the map. You can't fire the javelin anywhere, I swear, unless... Oh, that's one. Over 900 more to go. Yeah. Can't wait to get 1,000 riot shield kills with no real hardcore in the game, by the way. Oh my. It's like a quick fix and like everyone has their ultimate perks on Shoot House. The game feels like it plays completely different than when everybody like doesn't have any perks. I don't know. I still don't like the perk system in this game, but I kind of understand like the flow of the game now. Guys, it's an advanced UAV. Please win your fights. I know I could run around and melee with it, but that's just, I will quit the game. That's basically going to be my playstyle for however long that's supposed to take. Dude, also, I don't know if it's like some sick joke or not, but in the comments section, there's like a disturbing amount of nice comments. Can we like, I'm not saying to be mean to me, but can we like not? Like everyone's so nice, it's awesome, thank you, but like maybe it's some sort of sick joke where somebody's just got like thousands among thousands of accounts that are just saying nice things. It's just so weird. I mean, like that's just a YouTube comment section. It's been spam for many, many years, but like, imagine it's one guy that leaves like thousands of comments that just sits there and just says, Jeff makes my day. Like you do realize like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Literally doing fucking nothing. Please stop.
Oh. He's not even trying to get...
That might have been for kill cam. Also can't guarantee that with the Shoot House mode that you're gonna end up getting a mode that's a little bit better for like the launcher challenges and other things. Like obviously domination is decent. I think hardpoint's probably best. Just generally trying to get like kills with a javelin or joker or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to say the names that are in game. Dude, I literally met somebody yesterday that said that this was their first Call of Duty. I was sick to my stomach thinking about people having like Modern Warfare 19 be their first Call of Duty. I mean, that's just time. Time just passes. That's just how it works. But to hear somebody straight out actually say, nah, this is my first Call of Duty I've ever played is actually insane. I'm trying to imagine what it's like to be somebody that is playing the tac sprint era of Call of Duty, but like never knowing what slide canceling was like. But then also imagine them playing the games that like had no gunsmith at all. They'd probably hate it. They'd be like, why does this game have no content? I keep seeing people's debates about the game of the year. I think God of War kind of has like some recency bias, but also people could only truly experience it on PlayStation. So there's a whole like portion of people that know that the game is great, but they haven't been able to experience it for themselves. Versus Elden Ring, which came out, what, 9 months ago? And had a stranglehold on gaming for months and was across every single system imaginable. Broke many, many records and all sorts of shit. It was crazy. People that have never played any Souls games or even heard of Souls games were introduced to the whole topic of it. Whereas also Ragnarok is, again, a sequel where, again, you would have had to experience the first one to truly appreciate that one in its entirety. Regardless, I think literally both of the games are fucking masterpieces. These are games that come along once in a decade. I'm not even bullshit. Also, imagine this, God of War, the game that literally won Game of the Year in 2018, I think it was one-upped by itself in this game. So it's it's an improvement on the Game of the Year game. But unfortunately for God of War, this time around, the competition in 2022 is a little bit more stiff with Elden Ring versus, what was their closest competition in 2018? Ooh, okay, well, Red Dead Redemption 2 was in there. That game is also a fucking masterpiece. Again, a game that I haven't played or really understand the whole story of, so I can't appreciate it in its entirety. But again, from the outside, I could recognize, I think God of War is gonna sweep virtually any category that it's associated with other than Game of the Year. I think Elden Ring wins there. If not, like, I don't know. A lot of people are saying the score of God of War is insane. And after I listened to it, yeah, it is. The music is so perfect for both of them. It comes down to literally a preference at that point. It's actually fucked up. The games are so perfect that it's, sorry, I don't know. It all comes down to how people want to even experience video games or whatever they even like feel like a video game even is. And which one sticks with them a lot more. For me, the experience of overcoming things in Elden Ring is what sticks with me more than the best compelling stories and written stories out there. I'd argue that probably God of War is some of the best writing in gaming, period. Oh, also, happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on all the videos recently, and yeah, it's been Jeff, guys. Later.